In ancient times, the virgins were sacrificed to relieve God's anger, to win a war, to eliminate drought, or to celebrate. The most important reason for this purity is the beauty of cleanliness. And most importantly, the transfer of this potential energy to the purpose. Nowadays, this kind of rituals are performed as sex. So did you ever wonder why virgins are used in such events? What is the main purpose? Even today, let us examine the reasons why virgins are used in these rituals in a different perspective. First of all, before we start the video, we will tell you a story. In ancient times, they looked for a girl who would sacrifice God for drought, thirst, or war, and they find her. But she has a lover. The two together think of this situation in black, but nothing can be done because shamans want to sacrifice this girl as soon as possible. The man gathered his courage and appeared before the shamans and said, "He is my darling." The shaman says that what matters is not that he is a virgin. That society wants this. We don't give the girl to God. The child cannot say anything after hearing this, and the shaman adds that don't tell this to anyone else or they will kill you and the child will go away. This story may be true or fabricated, but it should not be understood here. It is not that shamans sacrifice thirst to God, drought, or virgin girls for war. Since the shamans know these things, the aim is actually to appease the society, and if it accomplishes it, the result is that the society will be deceiving itself. This was the case in ancient times because the society wanted to sacrifice a virgin so that they could get rid of the drought and all the negativity you could think of from the wrath of God. Virgin girls were sacrificed, and potential power. The potential power here is the power that you lose after giving yourself away. The exact cause of this has not been determined even in today's research. Especially in Mesopotamian times, women were buried with the deceased or placed alive inside the sarcophagus to serve a master, not only to suppress the wrath of God or other events, but to serve his master on the other. The Romans, the Canas, the Yeasts, the Aztecs, and many ancient societies in Mesopotamia sacrificed people or animals. The Mayans are known for their contribution to astronomy, but this habitual situation is said to be the first American culture to incorporate into everyday life. It is known that only yachts with high status are used in this ritual as the food source of God for yeasts. Other unskilled people are believed to be employed as slaves. In general, the victims are prisoners. In the rites performed by the Mayans, the person to be sacrificed was held by 4 people, and these 4 people represented the south, the north, the west, and the east. The victim is painted in blue and constantly adorns. In general, the rib cage was open to end the ritual. Inca societies were doing similar rituals. But in general, children were used because they represented goodness and purity, but at the same time believed that children on the other side could make a better place in the afterlife. So, children were generally used. For the Incas, this was a very honorable situation, and the families of the selected children could be very pleased because it was an honorable behavior. It is known that 200 young people were sacrificed in this way at one time. The other tribe was Aztecs, but the biggest difference separating the Aztecs was the real surgical arrangements. Since the Aztecs worshipped the sun god, they would generally do the rites of the sun god, but not so many tens of 100 people, but thousands. In the same way, the Aztecs are known to have used 84,000 people in the opening of the Great Pyramid. The society that lost the war was enslaved or used in rituals. I have said that the biggest difference that separates the Aztecs from other tribes is the surgical operation, because the sacrifice used in the ritual is alive and the heart beats this. The sacrifice remains alive during this time, and the priest beats his heart by opening the victim's chest. Aztecs not only sacrificed, but also bestowed the tears of the children to the god of rain and lightning. Children who did not cry were persecuted or intimidated so that they would be prevented from drought. The Aztecs would do such rituals not only to prevent gods or drought in war, but also to scare the surrounding communities. The Aztecs called for neighboring tribes to perform similar rituals and make neighboring tribes fear. The people of another ancient period were Hawaiians in general. It is seen in the movies that the Hawaiians take a virgin girl out of a volcano and toss her down from the volcano. These rituals were actually performed in temples and consisted of chiefs or captives of enemy tribes in general. And in general they performed these rituals to the god of war to take advantage of the blessings of victory. One of the most distinctive features of Hawaiians was that they hung their victims upside down from the hooks in the temples and tattooed them until the meat softened. This resulted in the cooking of their meat or eaten raw. In general, the priests did this. Even today, these temples can be visited in Hawaii. While many different variations of these rituals of past societies serving the drought of thirst or any purpose of God are practiced in societies. Although the goal is to avoid events such as drought of God or thirst. The story I described at the beginning of the video can be thought of as calming the community or abusing the priests of the priests, although it may be of very deep meaning. It is believed that these rituals protect societies. In fact, all of them have vanished, and today many societies prefer virgin girls in the real sense. But I would like to interpret this from a different perspective, because it is believed that the virgins used in these secret orders were generally made by having sex during the ritual. In that this gift of the devil could be thought of as a way of communicating with the devil. No matter how thirsty to God, drought to war, or to scare the communities around it. If we consider why bacteria are used in these rituals today, it is perhaps a situation made by very powerful people who can only meet the needs of men. It can go to many different places. But the devil worshippers, although the real part of the job is nonsense, is that such rites are generally, I can say that those who perform this ritual are generally people who want to enslave the society and become a world ruler in real terms. In general, we can say that these people get power from the devil, that the masters are a devil, and that they do this kind of rituals by taking this power from him or giving him this gift. Of course, I don't know exactly what it is. Why do you comment on this style of rituals?